It's over. Caitriona Balfe's husband bullying hell. Heartbreaking truth H's kept hidden for years. The backside of a perfect marriage. In the public eye, Caitriona Balfe, the Irish actress who became famous worldwide through the Outlander series, has always been a model of grace, strength and mystery. When she married music producer David McGillivray, a private person who rarely appeared in public, everyone thought she had found a peaceful place to settle down. But hidden behind the smiling photos is a secret that Caitriona has kept hidden for many years. I used to believe that silence was the safe choice. But the truth is, silence sometimes means continuing to live in fear. That sentence was written by Caitriona in a personal letter revealed by a close friend, right after the actress filed for divorce. The whole of Hollywood was shocked. First love, sweet and promising. Caitriona met David at a small arts event in Dublin. No one expected that amid the spotlight and the soft jazz music, a quiet love story would begin. David was not like other famous men. He was calm, intellectual, and always kept his distance from the media. That made Caitriona feel safe. She once said in an interview, "I am always in front of the camera. I need someone behind the camera who can see me as a person, not a celebrity." They got married in 2019, in a secret ceremony, without paparazzi, without media. Everyone thought she made the right choice, small signs that gradually become nightmares. But soon after their marriage, Caitriona's friends began to notice small changes. She shared less, refused to go out, and often withdrew from unscheduled press conferences. A former assistant recalled, one time she came into a conference room with a bruise on her wrist. When I asked her, she just smiled and said she had fallen at home. But her eyes were very different. They weren't as bright as before. A friend in the industry also revealed, she started asking the director to let her go home early. One day Caitriona arrived on set with a pale face, severely sleep-deprived. Sam Heughan asked quietly, "Are you okay?" And she just nodded, avoiding his eyes. The control began. David, from a romantic husband, gradually became controlling. He began to impose conditions on his wife's scenes, especially intimate scenes with Sam. He once emailed the producers, "My wife is a married woman. I hope the crew doesn't abuse that for commercial purposes." Caitriona initially defended her husband. But things got worse when David began reading all her work messages and emails, and wouldn't allow her to meet her colleagues after work. Gradually, she became isolated, hiding the pain, pretending to be happy. Caitriona is an actress. And like many women in similar situations, she knows how to act her pain into a smile in front of the camera. She still attends awards ceremonies, still gives speeches thanking her husband, still posts photos congratulating her on her anniversary. But those who are really close to her realize, that smile doesn't reach her eyes. Inside, Caitriona is a lonely woman, stuck between her career and her personal life. She is afraid of the media, afraid of disappointing her fans, and most importantly, afraid of hurting someone who used to be everything to her. The invisible hurts. There were no slaps, no visible bruises on her body, but the pain Caitriona endured was the slow erosion of a life of manipulation and isolation. She was not allowed to keep her own email password. Every work email had to be CC'd to David. Her shared bank account was also where her every expense was closely monitored. Despite being a world-famous actress, Caitriona began to feel like a prisoner in her own home. Control under the guise of love. David didn't scream at his wife. Instead, he sighed. He would stay silent for hours if she didn't answer her phone in time. He would accuse her of disrespecting her husband whenever she laughed too intimately with her co-stars. It's the kind of abuse that outsiders never see. But those who are involved feel it every day, every hour. A psychologist commented after the story was made public, the first time Caitriona wanted to quit. In the middle of the 6th season of Outlander, Caitriona almost gave up her role as Claire Fraser. She felt exhausted, not because of the role, but because every time she finished filming, she had to return to a cold reality, where David's eyes were no longer those of her ex-lover. Sam Heughan, her co-star and close friend, was the first to notice. I could see that she wasn't herself anymore. One time after filming, Caitriona sat in the car and cried silently. She said, "I'm scared. I don't know how much longer I can take it," Sam shared later in an interview. The turning point, a spy email. Caitriona was offered a role in an independent film in Europe, a role that didn't require sex scenes, didn't involve Sam, and didn't involve anything that would make David jealous. But within hours, Caitriona turned down the offer. Not by her, but by David, who had accessed the email and sent a rejection response on her behalf. That was the last straw. I understood at that moment, I was no longer in control of myself. I was living a life directed by someone else, Caitriona shared in her first speech since the divorce. The man WHO helped her get up. Caitriona's life began to change when she attended a conference on women's rights in the film industry in London. There, she met Sophie Skelton, her co-star in Outlander and a woman who had been in a toxic relationship. Sophie was the first to say it. "Caitriona, this is no longer love. This is control." From there, a secret plan was drawn up. Caitriona began to separate her financial accounts. She asked for a lawyer, and for the next year, she prepared herself, not to leave, but to reclaim herself. Divorce and the first confession. Through her lawyer, Caitriona filed for divorce in Los Angeles court. She did not ask for a division of assets, nor for rights. The only thing she wanted, freedom. The public was shocked, fans were stunned, but at the same time, Caitriona shared a personal letter on Instagram, an excerpt that silenced the world. "I'm not writing this to blame. I'm writing it because I know there are many women like me, successful, famous, strong, who are still trapped. Know that you're not wrong to feel hurt. And you deserve to be free, to be loved." Freedom, and a new beginning. Caitriona now lives in Paris, where she's co-producing a documentary about women in the entertainment industry who are being mentally controlled by their partners. She's been on the red carpet less often, but her smile is brighter than ever. Sam Heughan is still by her side, this time not just as a co-star, but as a strong moral support. They did not confirm their relationship, but when the reporter asked, "Is there anything special between you two?" Sam just smiled. Sometimes, people have to go through storms to find the right